Is it a two thing to clean it all?
It's just like a little wireless network thing. So yeah.
I just need to press ring my cleaner in that break room and see something.
Yep. We can do it.
Give us a,
I don't know what about this John's office week. It's going to different.
Call this meeting to order in 10 a.m. Roll call. Here.
Here.
Stand as you desire for the pledge and invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, please be with us today as we try to do what's best for the community and the county as a whole. Be with us all as we leave today and go out our ways, and just keep us safe and keep us all together. And I ask this in your Son, Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Consent agenda is kind of interesting today. Approval of last week's meeting and disposal of those shares, but look at the third item. We paid off the loan for this building. And I'll take a motion in a second, then I want to talk about that. Motion?
I'll make a motion we accept the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay, let's talk about the third item, and I've asked Parks to kind of fill us in on that. This building, that loan to UMB is now paid off in full.
No, we were getting approved to pay off in full.
Okay, but this is the final step of that.
Yeah, we have, so the next payment's not due till October. We just, they need 45 days, so we're good on time right now to get it taken care of.
And this is considerably early because a year or two ago, we paid off quite a bit early too. So we're good. Now, tell me what the total debt now of the county is.
Yep, so it's gonna be, 31,000.
After this payment, by the way.
Yeah, all right,
Okay.
31, and that's what it is, it's a lease. That was, I was digging around on it, it was last year, it's with the, like government lending with First State Community Bank, so, there's 3 payments, or a 3-year term, it's annual payments, we haven't had an annual payment come out yet, but, it was, the loan started in September of last year, it's on a 2021, Colorado. So that's a 3-year lease on it.
A lease for what?
On a vehicle.
On a vehicle?
Yes.
Okay.
With, I believe it's with the task force.
Oh, yeah, I remember that
yeah.
now. Okay.
So that's all that's left right now. It's a tax exempt and everything else.
Okay.
Lease purchase payment of 31.
30 years on there.
I'd forgotten that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
that would be the only other debt after this. And on, to go a little further on the, well, it's with UMB's handling, but it's with, what's LJ? Yeah, thank you. All right, yeah, thank you. So what it is, on the payoff of that, we have look at my notes here, roughly 415,000 is principal and just under 15,000 is interest. So the payoff's gonna be 429,950. That, going ahead and using that money out of our accounts, if we left it in our deposit accounts right now at 0.06%, we would have about $500 in interest over 2 years. So really what's saving us is about 14,500 over 2 years. But we have the funds right now, and that's what we felt like it was probably time to do that and do the right with, taxpayers' money, so.
Is there any advantage to paying off this other early, or can you pay it off early? The lease purchase?
Oh, we could, we'd have to, we have the funds for it.
We do have the funds for it.
Yeah, with 30,000 on it,
I'd like to be out of debt totally.
Oh, I agree completely, but, and we could dig around more on, I don't know if we need, or you would know, do we need other departments?
Sure. That is not an agenda item for today, but let's discuss that in the near future and see what we can do about that. Let's see what we should do about that. Okay, thank you, Paul.
Yep, you got it.
Okay, that's been all approved. We thank you. There are no table agenda items. Award annual bid for the auditor. Anybody here? Okay, we have the documentation here of what they want, and that was mineral area office supply.
Yes.
So, no
Yeah, I'll make a
presentation.
motion
Okay.
that we approve the auditor's request for the
Annual bid.
yeah, the annual bid, which would be supplies for you, right? And there was a note in there that it actually has one cheaper, but with the 5%, that it goes to the local.
Yes, the
county variance that we have on that actually provided for a cost savings of buying local.
Just second that.
If you second, okay. Any questions, comments? Okay, all in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Thank you. EMPG grant, well, this is gonna be Mr. Nick Jones, if you recognize him anymore. Nick is a shadow of his former self.
I need to find out that program.
So we're just trying to get approval to redo the EMPG grant for the next year. It's due on April 16th. It's pretty much when we're gonna look at maybe adding a few things this year, but we'll have to come back, need approval for that, and we're just looking to go ahead and start the paperwork on it.
This is second or third year we've done that, isn't it?
This will be, we'll be going into the third year, applying
Third
for
year,
the third year.
yeah, okay. It's always worked well for us in the past, and you'll take care of that.
Yep.
Okay, is your recommendation that we grant this?
Yeah.
Is that motion?
Well, I'll make a motion that we accept, the emergency management Nick Jones approval of the EMG grant.
That's second.
And we did set in on a meeting, we had Bridget and Nick and we all sat in and watched this, and it's the same as last time, and Nick's doing a pretty good job on this, so, and Bridget is very good at what she does, so we're on this.
Yeah.
Total amount of the grant is?
Yeah.
15 or 16.5, wasn't it?
I know that it pays for half the salary and half of the benefits. I don't know what the exact figure is, but I can get it for you.
And it could change, correct? It could be a little more, a
Yeah,
little less. So it
yeah.
wasn't a set amount, it was
Yeah, we can
what
add-
we were,
They'll pay for
able
all
to put
the
in.
office supplies and other
Yeah.
things too, that we're gonna look into adding to. So.
Okay, any questions?
Thank you.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you, Nick. Approve to purchase bridge beams, road and bridge, Busick Road.
Commissioners, this was a competitively bid, item for Busick Road Bridge for the concrete beams. This was put in the paper, it was advertised, and I'm assuming we received no bids. So there's no bids to open on this, competitively bid project, so I would just like to ask permission to be able to contact, the only two concrete vendors that are, well, one's in Bonne Terre, one's local. Well, they have a branch in Bonne Terre. And that we have bought these from in the past, and we'll just contact them and get quotes if we didn't receive any beams. I guess that, or any bids, I guess that's our next logical step. So, maybe we can put this on the agenda for next Monday, is that correct? Our meeting is
Yes,
on Monday?
yes, and
And
I'll talk later, you have to be that on the agenda by Thursday at 10 a.m.
be on there today. There's no bids to open, so we will just solicit quotes and go from there. There's only two companies, McCann and County Materials, that can provide these to us.
Okay.
That are fairly local. One is in Illinois, one's in Fulton, Missouri. If we go any farther than that, we pay so much in shipping, it's just not practical to do.
These are 36-foot beams?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
very heavy.
Very
Stressed
heavy.
concrete.
Once we do this project, we'll of course have to contract out and rent a crane to set them. We don't have equipment to set them. And this was a unanticipated bridge when we had our bridge inspections annual bridge, or every 2 years we have bridge inspections. This was done in November. We still haven't got the report, but the inspector did tell us that we had to shut this bridge down to one lane due to its deterioration. So upon further inspection, we're just going to replace it.
Okay, good.
So we will just, guess on this item, we'll wait, table it, or however you want to say that, or we'll get put on the agenda and we'll obtain quotes between now and then.
We want to make a motion to, but even though we get close, since we already know there's no, it's up to you guys, but since we know.
Yeah, I can accept the motion to go ahead and start the
Well, I accept. All right,
telephone
accept.
process.
And we
I
will
accept
have,
it too.
I don't see any problem with us having these quotes by next Monday's meeting.
Okay,
Well, I'll make a motion that Clay get quotes, or Clay and John, go out and get quotes since there was no bids on this, and use it to your discretion to hopefully get the local bid. Local
And
people.
why we didn't receive any quotes, I don't know.
That makes
It
sense.
was advertised, we went through
Could
the proper
be.
channels.
Could be everybody backed up too.
Could be, yeah,
And that might mean we need to get on the list.
Yes.
as early as possible.
Right.
I'll second that.
Okay, any questions? Yes,
You know, I don't know as if it has a name. I don't,
Is it the long straight stretch you guys working on?
it's right near, no, it's, very near the, intersection of Busick and Worley Road. Right by that intersection. I don't think it has a name, but it's right at Busick and Worley. And it's cordoned off now down to one lane.
Isn't that little water coming through?
Kinda, I mean, yeah.
Mike, don't push it too hard, it may be named Copeland Creek.
Yeah.
Okay, I have motion second, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you, Clay.
All right.
Thank you.
Don't go away.
All right.
Allow purchase of culvert pipe.
Okay, this is an issue, a location on Old Jackson Road, just south of Double O. It was a, concrete culvert that was, well, the date on it is 1915. It has deteriorated to the point to where it's starting to crumble off on the edge of the road, the road's caving in on the sides. We can replace that with a flat bottom metal culvert, 84-inch metal culvert is what we want to do. We can, as far as building a bridge, it's not that huge of a creek draw, but it does need this much flow during the rainy season. So that's approximately the size of the opening that's there now, and we would just like to rip that out, replace it with a flat bottom metal culvert.
When are we gonna go plastic?
Well,
I saw plastic being hauled out this
we
morning.
have been utilizing plastic, double wall, high density plastic.
Great.
And we have been utilizing that, but for something this big, once you get over a certain size, the cost of plastic is so much more than metal. So we have solicited quotes from 2 different companies. One is local here, Spacewalker in Bonne Terre. It's an 84-inch metal culvert pipe, 12 gauge, for $6,476. Now that's roughly $162 a foot. Then we also got quotes from Contech, which is a pipe company that supplies our annual bids for our metal culverts. However, this size metal culvert was not listed on the annual bid because it's a special order. We don't order them this large, install them this large typically. But their price was $7,760, or equates to $194 a foot. So we would recommend that we purchase this from Spacewalker. They will deliver it on site, or their company will, as for savings of roughly $700.
What was Spacewalker?
Spacewalker, the total price was $6,476.80. Probably $161.90 a foot as opposed to $194 a foot.
Okay.
Okay.
So we would just like permission to purchase this through our quotes that we've got.
Motion?
I'll make a motion that we purchase the Spacewalker for $6,476.80. The piece of steel that you guys need.
And the road should only be closed 2 or 3 days.
So one day.
Rip this out. Put it right there. Okay.
Sorry.
That's government in reverse there.
Thank you guys very much.
And I'll second that.
Any questions?
What was that again?
It was on Old Jackson Road, about quarter of a mile south of Double O Highway.
Is that between 32 and F?
No, it's between, it'll be between Double O and Libertyville. That stretch of Old Jackson.
I live on that section.
It's between Double O and Smith, or I'm sorry, Watkins, between Double O and Watkins.
Is Clay, is that the one that has the little rise and down?
A little bit. I don't mean to sound derogatory, but right at this location, there's kind of a makeshift junkyard.
Mm-hmm.
But they've got a lot of old classic.
Yeah.
They do, yeah. It's salvage, not junk, salvage, yeah. Treasure salvage.
Now, he's not mentioning that's close to my neighborhood out there.
Yeah.
Okay, any comments, questions?
With this purchase being 6,000 or more, statute requires that it has to be competitively bid. So is the commission waiving that requirement?
Well, it's the only, like I said, we solicited these quotes. I don't foresee any other companies near being able to bid on it anyway.
Okay, what do we need to do to qualify, or to do it correctly?
The commission would have to vote to waive the requirement and list the reasoning for
Well,
waiving it.
Are there only 2 suppliers for it?
Yes, and, you know, this sounds strange, but the supplier that Spacewalker is utilizing is who gave us the other bid, which was, that doesn't make any sense, but.
So he would need, is that 3? Is that what it usually is?
3 what?
3. Well, he got 2 bids.
Oh,
Bless you.
Well, no, if it's over 6,000, we have to competitively bid it
Just
unless the
competitively
commission
bid?
waives it under the emergency clause or due to it being a sole source.
Well, we have cones in the road now letting people know not to run off in the hole that start to eat under the road.
So I would say we make that motion on the emergency, if that's, change that to under the emergency clause, and that way you've done your due diligence by getting the both of them.
And there's really nothing we can do at this point other than put cones there,
Yeah, we're
put
fine.
signs up, and sometimes.
Well, we need to get it
they're
fixed
Or
as
block
soon as
the
we
road
can.
Yeah, or close the road, and, so,
It sounds like our faster solution to get it done in an emergency
Get
situation.
it done quick,
Yes.
and then that's a local provider that.
Yeah.
It is.
That we're buying from
It is.
too.
yeah, in
yeah,
county.
pretty much the only.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Would that work?
Okay, I have a
Yes.
motion to waive the competitive bids,
Under the emergency clause.
advertised bids. And a second?
I'll second that.
Okay,
Thank
any
you.
questions at all?
Was that an amendment to the first motion?
Is
So
it-
I added the emergency clause, so let's just amend it, I guess, is what it would have to be done.
I'm not kidding.
Poor Kevin's not.
No, that's all right.
No, you're right.
But you also said they're gonna get it done in one day.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and extend that to the 3 days that he asked for, since this is the emergency.
One class.
Okay,
Yes,
any other
thank you.
questions, comments? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
I want to talk about the metal and the plastic culvert. Plastic lasts longer. If you were to look inside a metal culvert that's been there any length of time, you'll see a brown streak on the bottom of it. And that is because sand is washing through there and abrading away the zinc finish, and it starts to rust there. So, and, you know, of course, that's where the abrasion is, right on the bottom. And so you'll see that opening up, and then you'll see the whole pipe start to collapse. Plastic, of course, doesn't do that. The big thing people talk about on plastic is if you burn your leaves at the end of the pipe, you burn the pipe. Well, I don't know how many people burn leaves at the end of a road culvert, but anyway. And you can get metal caps for the ends, but,
And it was recommended to us by an engineering firm that we've had on retainer for a number of years that in a lot of applications, plastic is better.
yeah. They had a problem with plastic floating out after coming up to the surface.
Right.
I've seen some examples of that. I haven't seen that lately, so I think they've worked on it,
Well, it floats out because they don't provide the necessary amount of
supposed
cover.
to put flow fill on top of it.
Right.
Yeah, there's
And
like, plastic, there's a gray and a black plastic pipe.
and ours is black. The gray is typically the single wall and the black is double wall, but not always.
I had that backwards. I thought the gray was a double wall with the laminars filling
It can be either way. We
Okay, I didn't
found
know
that it
that.
can be either
Okay.
way.
Okay.
But it's what we utilize is the high density double wall
Okay.
plastic. There's a different, I mean, there's a single wall that people use on their own
Yeah.
that we will not install.
You won't install
No.
it? Okay, didn't know that. Okay. All right. Okay, that was just a comment I wanted to throw in. Okay, hang around, Clay.
All right.
Tell us about this piece of.
All right, this was a Durapatcher. We bought this in 2005. And what it basically is a portable chip and seal machine for potholing. Back in 2005, for a number of years, the county was in the practice of chip and sealing their roads. And it didn't necessarily work out real well for us. John and I, over the past 5 years, have been sort of paying the price for trying to address some of the chip and seal roads that we have done. What this was, like I say, it's a pothole patcher, chip and seal pothole patcher that we haven't used in 5 years, probably. We haven't had a need for it. We don't have the oil. It's It's only got a 200-gallon tank. If we need oil, we have to drive all the way to St. Louis, get oil, come back to use it in one day, then drive back to St. Louis again. Before, we had the oil that we use for our chip and seal machine, and we had 6,000 to 7,000 gallons of oil on hand, and we would just pump out of that. But anyway, it's just not something that we utilize anymore, and it's still functioning. I mean, it's still functional, and we would just like to sell it as surplus while it still has some value, and then utilize that money on equipment purchases elsewhere.
Purple Wave?
Yes, Purple Wave, yes.
Okay. That's our auction company that
That's,
we use.
that's our best, most economical auction site to utilize that gets us the most money for equipment.
They come in and basically take pictures of it and advertise it,
Right.
take responsibility for the description and the whole bit, so,
Okay.
okay.
So we would just like to ask permission to sell this piece of equipment as surplus.
Okay, motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept Road and Bridges to sell their surplus equipment.
Second?
I'll second.
Question?
Well, probably right now, if you let that sit a little longer, we're gonna lose out.
Right, and like I said, we've been throwing this idea around for the last 2 or 3 years of getting rid of it. Thought, well, maybe we'll still use it again, but we're not going to. And a lot of the reason why is we purchased a pull paver, what we call a drag box, and we do a lot of our paving with this pull paver. A lot of our pave patching to save some of these roads with that. And then we do that, and then overlay a year or so later.
Okay. All right, thank you. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Commissioners.
Yes.
Was there a vote taken on the previous request on that culvert pipe?
Yes, I thought so. Did we get it, Linda?
That's the one I had to make another,
Amendment.
revise the motion
I
to do
thought
the
we did.
emergency,
If not, let's just make sure. Let's back up to
Was
that
it-
motion
was it
second.
done? Yeah, we did it.
Okay.
Yeah, she's done.
You got it down?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Okay.
Bill. Keep me in line.
Okay, moving right along. Thank you, Clay.
Yep.
Contract agreement with the assessor's office. Dan was in here, don't see him now. There he is. Hi, Dan, you want to talk about this?
Basically, we have a retirement of the previous appraiser who appraised utilities. Ernie Demba is being hired to take that position for continuation of the Spire.
And he's a certified assessor.
Yes,
Got certified.
he has sent a resume in with that. He's been doing this for years.
Okay. Do you know him?
I've never met Ernie, but I took the liberty of calling him Ernie because I don't like to call him by Ernest.
Dude, is this a new hire for the county?
He's not a new hire. It's a service we use to, and he's helping us through the utility lawsuit.
We've had this
Yes.
since 2013.
Yes.
And Mr. Demba is taking the place of Skip Sanssouci, who was our previous utility appraiser, who's, I believe, retired. Very qualified. Hopefully we won't have to use him long. We'll be done with this before I leave office.
I've heard that for a few years now.
We've heard that for quite a
The
few.
gas companies are paying,
Okay.
if I'm correct, they're paying their taxes under protest
Gotcha.
because they don't like the way they're being assessed. Because they don't think that the depreciation is going properly on their equipment. If I said all that
I
correctly.
was doing it just to make sure we were utilizing our human service. I was a little lost, but thank you. I
Okay,
appreciate
now,
that.
do I have a motion to accept this contract agreement with Ernest Denba?
Okay, I'll make a motion to accept the contract agreement with Ernest Dembo from the assessor. Dan.
Second?
I'll second.
Questions?
Does this supersede any other agreements that are currently in place?
None of those agreements, no, this is just the contract that we had included with Mr. Sanssouci as part of the total appeal, and Mr. Demba was just filling that slot that Mr. Sanssouci left.
Oh, so I was just, we don't have anything in place with him right now?
No, we do not,
Okay.
and I hope that there's no conflict of interest.
Okay, any other questions, comments? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you so much. Board appointment, the Board for the Developmentally Disabled has asked that Mrs. Patricia Birch's term be renewed. And there's the letter from them, and I would appreciate a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept their recommendation for Mrs. Patricia Birch to be put on the board of the St. Francis County Development Disabled.
I'll second that.
Questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you. Next regular meeting, new term, next Monday, April 5. Going along with that, Friday we will be closed because of Good Friday. It is Good Friday. And because we'll be closed on Friday and the meeting is on Monday, I mean, the agenda must be in on Thursday, 10 a.m. next week. So, this week.
Yes.
So, there you are. Dano's anniversary of his loss is Thursday. Missing. Other business, correspondence. Public comments. Yes.
Commissioner, there was a extensive article in this weekend's newspaper concerning the assessments going on in St. Louis City and County. They suggest that there might be assessment averaging 9% through the area. In trying to forecast our projected revenue for next year, curious as to if you know of what the assessment increase will be for St. Francis County.
No, that would be an assessor question. Dan, you have any questions, answers for that?
Yet to be determined. Our books will close the end of May, first part of June. We want to get our increase notices out. There will be increases throughout the northern part of the rest of the county, remainder of the county for 21. So as to give you an accurate number, I cannot do it at this time because we haven't finished completing everything. Once we get the books closed, we'll have our predetermined number, and then of course we redo the books, and they are in August, I believe, to get a final number. But we'll have something for you hopefully by the end of May.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions? Okay. Yes.
Can you get back on the roads and that?
Say it again?
Roads and bridges?
Yes.
I don't know what you're dumping in the water up at your place, tearing up the little water crossing there on, the river where it crosses, on Old Fredericktown Road.
Mm-hmm.
But,
The bridge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's eat out again, the asphalt, and
Yeah.
they're wondering when, the people live back there wondering when that's gonna be replaced or whether, is that on
You're referring to the one just south of DD?
Yeah.
yeah, right off
It is not necessarily scheduled to be replaced. We do have it on our replacement list.
Yeah.
To replace that with a box culvert structure, similar to what we did on North Hillsborough. It could be finished this year. It just, with everything else that we have had to address with the deterioration of the roads from the winter weather, some of these things have been put on hold for a little while. It is in the process of being done, hopefully this fall, but more than likely it'll be in 22 when we complete that project.
Yeah, and because of the tractor trailer traffic out there, and that's the only entrance into that area for them, they will have to really coordinate with the people and give them some close estimate times of closure.
That, we've looked at a couple of options there, coordinating with them and having it as little time as possible. Or should the adjacent landowner allow us to build a go-around, which we've done before, but that has to be done with the permission of the landowner. And then with that issue, putting a temporary pipe in, it's subject to washing out as well. So the traffic will not be cut off, but heavy truck traffic will.
Yeah,
because
they can come in the other end, but the trucks can't come
They
in.
can't come in the other end off of the wall.
And that would be wiser after the growing season or the selling season.
Work with the people.
Yeah.
Right,
Work with the
and we have other projects that are kind of taking more priority right now due to our bridge inspections in November and the deterioration of our roads. So I don't want the people down there to think we keep putting them off, but circumstances have arisen that have forced us to do that. We would like to finish that this year, but it'll be tight. More than likely it'll be in 22. But it is on our schedule to do.
That's what they do is on the schedule.
Right.
Kind of keeps getting cut off.
The Tillman Road just up the creek is also,
Same way.
that bridge is bad.
We would like to do them both at the same time, actually.
Right.
We've talked about doing them both. Same creek, basically the same size structures.
Well, I put a lot of water in the lower bridge, but not the upper one.
Yeah, same.
There's a bus comes in, 55 passenger bus periodically, and he goes up the other way, he's afraid he'll drag him, especially with the washouts.
Well, with that bridge right there at that intersection, you can't make it.
It's a bad turn.
Yeah,
It's
and that's
very
why-
dangerous pulling out.
that's why early on, when we saw that that community was gonna be there, that we worked the other end,
Mhm.
and they rerouted their traffic to that end, because there's no way with that bridge and with the property ownership that you could make the corner with any long vehicle.
And actually, the entrance off of DD Highway was not conducive to tractor trailer traffic, and we made a lot of major improvements there.
Well, that's
That
what I was talking
intersection,
about, we made that so they.
to allow them in, because they couldn't get in either direction with their transports. Now they can, but with the replacement of this bridge, there may be a time when it's in
It's
there.
gonna be a time, yeah. Okay, yes,
I just wanted to take a second and pay a compliment, to our, maintenance fellas. I've just noticed the time that I've worked here, how hard they work, how much effort they put into everything.
Yeah.
From buildings to on our grounds, they built walls, doors, paint, flooring, possessed toilets, you know, all the above, and I just wanted to shout out to them and tell them how good of a job they're doing.
and on those two particular men that you're talking about, Gabe and Jason, HR is working on a new job description and new title for them, and we recognize that. And I don't know at what stage that is now, but they're working on that, and they're gonna be called building technicians in the future.
Christie, I'm glad you said that, because it's nice you notice that.
Well,
Them
I
guys
imagine, I just thought they deserved a
nonstop.
kudos.
They're very good at what
Yeah,
they
they
do.
are.
Okay, any other public, I'm sorry, departmental reports, anything? Next,
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
second,
I'll second.
all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Thank you all, appreciate it.